Hello Mouses! Today we've got 3 interesting topics that came up in the news, so I've rigged the Wheel of Thursday this week. It's come round and it's landed on news, because I wanted to, because I'm like that. Okay, let's get straight into it. The first thing is rather interesting. The BBC, during the Olympics and during Wimbledon, which is going on at the moment, is live streaming sports events direct to Facebook. Now, they are, of course, doing their classic thing of if you're not in the UK, you can't watch the BBC. But, of course, we all know that if you really want to see the BBC, there are ways of getting a UK proxy so you can see it. I won't put that information in here because I don't want to get flagged, but Google is your friend. Now this is interesting to me because normally the BBC would use the red button that it has to select its web digital service via standard broadcasting. On analog services you get about 4 different options on the digital system that you can watch 4 different sporting events, or if you've got cable or satellite or anything like that with a wider bandwidth, then you can get more events. But you've never really been able to get 24 of them at the same time, which is what the BBC is going to be streaming this time over Facebook. So if you really want to watch the curling while someone else wants to watch the gymnastics or boxing or whatever's actually going on at the same time, then you can. One person use a laptop, one person use a TV, one person use another laptop. It'll work very nicely. Well, that's the plan anyway. iPlayer is pretty good, so we can expect it to be a decent quality service. So I'm looking forward to that, because that way I've got 24 more channels that I can ignore. So moving on from live streaming of interesting things, we've got this interesting thing coming out of America at the moment. For those of you who remember back to March, a journalist who also stripped on the side has been fired because her side job is stripping. Apparently she was using the money from stripping not only to get the clothes that she needed to go to society events in order to do her job as a society journalist, but also to pay off her student loan. What kind of state is a country in where a woman has to turn to stripping as well as having a full-time job in order to pay her student loans? This is just stupidity. Education should not be that expensive that people either have to go into stripping or not go to college in order to not get into debt. But this woman apparently was fired not because she's a stripper, but because she didn't declare stripping as an other occupation on her original application form, which is all well and good. But she's in Houston, Texas, and in Texas law, you don't have to declare that because Houston regards strippers as a self-employed position. They're independent contractors and therefore not employees. So you don't have to put down that you've got another job because it's not classed as another job. So that's one of the loopholes that she's going to fight her dismissal on. The other being, because most strippers are women, she's going to claim sex discrimination. So good luck with that one. But I'm amazed to find that stripping is not her only occupation. Her other occupation is appearing blurred in photographs, because it took me over an hour to find a photograph that wasn't blurry. And yes, I am using this as an excuse to show some pictures, because let's face it, this woman is rather attractive, and more power to her for using that attractiveness to pay off her debts. It's a sucky job, but if you can do it, then great, because that way you're not struggling for years repaying a debt that you really can't afford in order to live. Okay, we're going to stay on the topic of legal news and move over to Barclays Bank, where there are lots and lots of calls at the moment for the chief executive to resign. And rightly so. This guy may or may not have known about the systematic rigging of interest rates between Barclays Bank and several other banks, but mainly Barclays according to all of the reports, which has led to mortgage holders, credit card users, and people with overdrafts or other kinds of loan paying back more than they otherwise would. And this has caused huge inflation of profits for banks, and as a result, £290 million worth of fines have been levied up against Barclays Bank so far, and the Serious Fraud Office is now going to be investigating. Finally, we get the Serious Fraud Office involved with the banks. This is good news, but it's news that's far too late. This should have happened a long time ago, when all of the problems with the banks started and all the bailouts started. To have £290 million worth of fines on a company that registered $5 billion in profits, it's really no more than a slap on the wrist. But at least it's something. Let's start seeing whether we can get this guy fired if he knew what was going on, and if he didn't, then let's see if we can get this guy fired for not knowing what his staff were doing. The illegal activities here can't stop with just dismissing a few lower level people. This guy has to go. Okay, that's all I've really got to say. I'm going to put information on all of these topics in the information bar below, so have a look at those and you'll find something interesting, I'm sure. So that's really it. I hope you liked this video. If you did, remember to click the like button, share it as you do, and subscribe for more videos in the future. Until tomorrow, I've been Kirk-Robinson, you've been watching a video, and I'll see you later.